All right. Hey, brother, Elijah, Mahalia, thanks for joining me. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. All right. Thank you, Heavenly Father, Creator. Thank you for this opportunity for that you've given me to do my best to just try to be a light while I'm in this reality to try to chase you and then share with other brethren the things that I have gone through in an effort to show them how you work in a brother's life, provided they are given to sincerity and truth. And it's a great honor, Heavenly Father, to see how you will give a testimony to brethren who are sincerely trying to learn, trying to be about your will. And I want to, I just want to give thanks for the way that way you provide for us. And so, brethren, thank you for joining me. My name is Yaquab on Israel. Welcome to my channel where I just try to share. I just try to chase the Creator, man. And I try to learn lessons, and so I can share and let you know that from what I can see from the Creator, and I had a thought, I forgot what it was. Let me see if I can get it back. I'm going to remember it. But it just seemed like with the Creator, that thought is nagging me. I'm on the verge of remembering that thought, and I was thinking about it all day. Oh, shoot, I can't remember it. Creator, I need remembrance. But anyway, welcome to my channel where I'm a faithist, and I try to be a minister for. Oh, let me scroll the screen. I try to minister to brethren who are faithists, who subscribe to the OAHSPE Bible, and it's a Bible that basically it exposes the Christian Bible. I mean, it really exposes the Christian Bible. I seen a video today, and it was. I mean, it was really something else. Sister sent me a video, and it was on it was a documentary on, I forget the name of the title. It was something like, it was the sister. She entitled it "The Smoking Gun of Christianity," and but the title of the video was something else, and basically they just really laid bare the lie of Christianity. They just laid it bare. They just exposed it for all its worth. And it go along with the OAHSPE. You remember how the Creator, he said that he was going to expose the beast kingdom. He going to expose it. And so this video was about, I mean, they really broke it down, some scholars. And the thing that I found most interesting, they still couldn't see the inspiration behind Christianity. They even got that close, meaning they started talking about Constantine and how he saw an apparition in the sky and the apparition came from Luamong. And that, when they got to that point where he saw the apparition in the sky, then that's where they fell off. They had no clue. That's where their knowledge fell off about the inspiration behind Christianity. They said everything right about it was um, a concoction Christianity of the Roman Empire. First, they took it. They created it so that they could have authority over the quote unquote Torah Jews, so that they could give themselves power and authority over the Jews. And then, to make a long story short, they get to Paul, who was used to strengthen the authority of the Roman Empire. And so they included his writings in the quote unquote New Testament. And it's all a power grab, man. I mean, that's all, when you look back, that it is. I mean, you had the Torah Jews, you had the Romans, you had the advent of, I mean, even to this day, what the Romans did is affecting the whole world, especially the Western Hemisphere, anywhere Christianity is dominant. And I just said, man, they haven't come across the OAHSPE Bible, and these people are scholars. You would think they're always on the lookout for which way the Creator is moving. And just go to show you, man, it just because somebody is educated, they've been to school, and they got degrees, it don't mean that the Creator have to go and give them wisdom, knowledge, or understanding. I hope you brethren really realize that, man. They give themselves titles and degrees, and that scripture, it just keep coming back to my mind about, now it's in the Bible, but it sounds like the Creator to me, that he takes the lowly of the world to confound the wise. He don't have to show, he's not, even though they are his children, but he lets a lot of his own children go into deception. I mean, in the end, it's all good, because everybody's got to elevate in their time. You got to elevate. Everybody's got to do it. You fake this. It's just that now is your time. You're chosen to, you wonder about this word. You study this word. You hear this word. It's got an anointing on your soul. You follow it. You don't always understand it, but it's for you. Still trying to think of that thought, man. It was a powerful, powerful thought, man. I can't remember it. But this is a room for brethren who can subscribe. It's your time. It's your, it's our time, man, to come into the eternal kingdom in spirit and in truth. Brethren who realize that we are here, and that we know where we're going. We know what's going to happen. We know the blessing to come that's open to anybody. If you could prevent your mind from stopping you, that's all that's required. So welcome to my channel, man, where I just am one of those brethren. We're scattered. We're trying to come together now. And man, it's just like what the Creator said. He's going to expose the beast kingdom. He's going to simply expose them. That's what's going on right now. That video, it was just all about exposing the beast kingdom. It was, scholars, basically it was Satan's kingdom undivided. You had the Torah Jews who they believed in, Torah. You had the Romans, on the other hand, that were pushing Christianity. You had all these different types of groups, and nobody had the understanding of the OAHSPE. I understand that, it wasn't time, but it just shows you how they basically, the video that I looked at, you don't see faithists anywhere. I mean, I'm sure that they were there in in the history of Christianity and the Bible, but maybe under deception. But from a faithist point of view, when you look at the history of the of in this respect, in this regard, looking at Christianity, you see the power of the Creator to leave men in darkness, to bring darkness and men's lack of understanding. I mean, it would be the same for us too. We didn't have His Word, the light of His Word. I know I, for one, was under a lot of deception in Christianity, and I'm thankful to have come out of that. I had no understanding. All I had was the Bible. That's all any of us had, a lot of us. So we in a different era now, and it's just time. It's time for us to prepare ourselves for there's a harvest coming in 2049. I'm like you, brother. I want to make it. I want to, as fast as possible, become a bride and a bridegroom. I don't want to sound selfish, but I personally would like to get as far away and as fast as I can from the Hebrew tetracts. That's the negative mindset. That's the afflictions of the carnal mind, where it says in the OAHSPE, it gives, the seven Hebrew, that's the seven tetracts. I don't know if they're the Hebrew tetracts, the tetracts. And so I could stop scrolling here. I wasn't paying attention. And the Creator, he says that basically he allowed it to come on man to test him and to help him to elevate in his spirit, so that he can realize the highest possible blessing, which is I would say the Ethereum world, Nirvana, or whatever else that the Creator. I mean, as far as I know, all I know about pretty much is the Ethereum world. I mean, it's bliss. You can't describe it. The Creator, he said something like, every day is better than the day before. And the things you see, you don't see the same thing twice. Now, I'll give my whole life for that world. I mean, I don't want to sound proud, like, it's easy. It ain't easy, man. Believe in this type of thing. Everybody's in their own corner of the world. Some people are for this, some people are for that. We ain't very good at mingling with one another. And I don't think people, they much care about it. The Creator, he called us to mingle with one another, talk to one another, share with one another. That's what our community is going to be like whenever he decides to fully manifest it. We ain't going to own anything, ain't going to be no king over us. So we're going to share freely anything that we have. We're going to take care of ourselves. Brethren are going to take care of themselves, man. And from what I can see in the OAHSPE, that is what's going to win the brotherhood of man. That's what's going to win it. It's going to be a brotherhood of brethren who their hearts have been, what's a good word for morality? Faith is. Creator is the only one who can legislate the human heart. You can't control the human heart, man. You can't control it. Look at the world we live in. I hate to sound negative. You know what I'm saying? We can't control ourselves. It's every man for himself, man. Everybody, they tend to their own interests. We got to be, I'm not sure, but we got to be in like the last stages of the AJI that the OAHSPE talks about. It's a period of darkness, man. We got to be in a time what you would call the dawn, DAW, or the Cosmic era. It's got to be dawn, the beginning, Right now, probably an overlap. You can see that. I mean, I don't know about you, but I follow to look at what way the world, which way they're going, to make a note of their spiritual grade. The creator, he talked about your spiritual grade and how important it is. And of course, the world doesn't you're not going to find the leaders of this. You ain't going to find the, you know what I mean. I hate to sound. Hey, Jamia. Hey, sister, with your head wrap. I like that. That fits you. I think Mahalia wears one too. Yeah, I like that look in a woman. That head wrap. I like them to wear. I like the head wrap, and I like the sun dresses. I think that's what y'all call them. Sundress. Oh, there she is. Yeah, sister. Yeah, sister. Ace in that. Yeah, you bless my soul. I didn't get a chance to fully look at the other video. I looked at the one you sent me called are you entitled the shotgun or the smoking gun of Christianity? And you know what? I At first I was getting ready to be surprised, and then all of a sudden I said, you know what? No, I ain't even surprised, man. I'm not. It ain't, they can deceive, man. Look, we in a situation where we can be deceived. All right. Oh yeah, Jamia. Yeah, sundresses. I like those sundresses in a woman. Sundresses. I just think that I've always liked them to wear that. You know, I'll be glad when I get my queen, man. You know, Creator say he got one for me. Remember we talked about it? Do y'all remember? And Asenath bailed out on us. She bailed out on us. Ain't nothing she could do because she in Michigan. I'm in California, so she can't touch me. She bailed out on us. We read the part where the creator, he said that our thoughts are our partner in the spiritual. And so I decided, the video was over with. Why not lighten it up a little bit? And so I started asking brethren, what is your other half look like? I mean, I thought we had a good time. Okay, I'll let you slide then, I'll let you slide, man, but you running out of toes to shoot at. And then she bailed out on us. Everybody said who their other half looked like. Elizabeth said somebody. Elijah said Haley Berry. I said Linda Blair. Mahalia said Justin Trudeau. We had a lot of fun. And then I got the ace in that. She bailed out. She bailed out. She can't do anything. She in Michigan. I'm in California. So I can talk about her all I want. She can't do nothing. I'm out of reach. I'm kidding with your sister. You know I love you. Oh, she says she don't have one. Yeah, well, Jamia, you already got I like that picture of you and your husband. He looks like a good old problem-free brother. I mean, no issues at all. That's the type of man I think that women would chase after. Jamia's husband, I like her situation. She's got it going on, man. All right, here go my room on Facebook where I love to read, man. I never used to like to read. I didn't like academia at all. I know my brother's probably listening. You don't know that I finished near the bottom of my class in high school. I kept it to myself. You know, I know he listened. I finished near the dead bottom, man, because I just didn't care. You know, but different story with the OAHSPE, man. I just can't stay out of that book. And so I know if I feel this way, you brethren feel that way too. You know? So here's my room on Facebook. I got a little food ministry where if I ever hear of an orphan or disabled or elderly in need, I'm telling you, man, I can certainly be I'm down with helping, in that situation. I'm all for that, man. Whether I'm a faithist or not, I don't even care. You know, I remember when I was homeless, and if my brothers listen, hey Chuck, you remember when we was growing up in Parktown? You remember them sandwich trucks that used to come around with 2 pieces of bread and 1 piece of bologna? You remember that? That food truck way back then? Boy, I used to look forward to it. 2 pieces of bread. Remember that, Chuck, if you're listening? And a piece of bologna, man. You know? And it might have been a little bag of chips. But I used to look forward to that. Now, we weren't struggling. But there are people like that in the world. And you just can't stand it, man. I know that the creator he don't get with that at all. When you got people in that type of need, I don't care if I'm faithless or not, man. That's a very sensitive area with me. Now here's my room. I like to try to have. There's a couple of rooms, brother. And I think I don't know if I put him in the link. There he is. Yeah, bro. How's your back doing? I know you said you took that epidural shot yesterday. Are you on your feet now? Or are you still knocked out? Is it helping your legs? Just let me know in the chat. I'm gonna keep going here. All right, so here's a room. You got my room right there. You got another brother's room, Brother Omian. This is his room right here. OAHSPE College University. That's the brother's room. You can go there. Brother's got another room, Cosmin teaching room. You can go there. Or no, that's the OAHSPE. Where's the Cosmin at? Every time I want to go to the Cosmin room, it shows me the college university. Here's the Cosmin teaching room. See? So there's all kinds of fellowship brethren we can fellowship with. Me personally, I just get a kick out of faiths, man. I couldn't imagine being in a room with them. Yeah. A slice of orange. I don't remember the orange, but I damn sure remember that 2 pieces of bread with a piece of bologna and mustard. But I don't really recall, at least my family, not really struggling. I don't think that we were, you know, prospering, but I just think we held the line. But, I'm just saying that you got that situation in the world where it's a shame that you have to have that type of charity go. I mean, it's good, but how some people can really depend on it. So here's another room, and here's my room where I like. Yeah, you remember old oranges, but they were good. That's funny. All right, here go my room where I like to share. Um, we had a good Bible study yesterday, man. Here's the information real quick, in case anybody thinking about maybe joining or something. I'm gonna scroll it so I could, you just stop the video if you think you want to get in contact. And we had a pretty good video, or we had a. Okay, good, bro. Good. I'm glad. Feeling better. Good. It's good. Um, we had a good discussion yesterday, and a brother he said something, man. He said something in the room or in the Bible study. Where was you at, Jamia? Jamia, you wasn't in there. Mahal, was there. The brother said something, man. We were the we went around the room asking brother what we thought about what the name of Jehovah meant, and he went around the fellowship asking everybody. I like what Mahal said. She said the connectivity The connectedness of all things. I thought that was the perfect answer, man. Now look at here. The sister was at Chuck E. Cheese. Instead of joining this, oh man, what am I gonna do with your meal, man? All right. Well, anyway, the brother went around asking everybody a question, and one brother said something I thought was pretty profound, and it had something to do with what you have learned and what does the name of Jehovah mean to you. And we got to him, and the brother said, one thing I learned, because he was an ordained Jehovah minister, and he said, one thing I learned is I can't really teach anybody. If you don't got that spark in your heart, if you ain't got the desire, there ain't really not much I can really do for you. Although I kind of disagree with that, but I know where he was coming from. He said that, he mentioned that old saying about when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And so his point was like, man, when you want it, then that's when you're going to get it. That's when you can get it. But you got, see, that's why in the, does not the Creator say don't proselytize? He said, don't proselytize this word. Let them come and get it, man. You come and get it. If you want it, I love it, man. Yeah. I have to perceive that you brethren have come into this word because you were driven to do it. You were looking for answers. And the Creator, he led you. Let me see. Elijah 7, he says, free will goes with the truth of the Creator. Yeah. I mean, it should sound right to you, man. You know what I mean? He don't constrain you to do anything. That's what I love. He ain't constraining you, He lets you do what you want to do. You make the decision. He know you're going to come to him anyway, though. From what I read, he just seemed to sit back and he's just going to wait on you, either now or in the spiritual. Oh, Omian, brother, thanks for checking in, brother. I hope you got your cinnamon tea. I'm going to join you for a sip in a second. You say, is that UFK? UFK? I think so. Universal Faithist or something. Yeah. Let me look. I think it is, brother. Here go the information right here. UFK, yeah. Yeah, there it is right there. UFK OAHSPE conference call video. Yeah, so that's UFK. Okay, let me get back to the room real quick. Elijah, yeah. One thing that got me. Hey, Elijah, what is the one thing that got you into the OAHSPE? Is it free will? Is that what you're talking about? Free will? You said that's one thing that got me into OAHSPE. Flips. A flips. Flips. I'm getting better at saying it the way I want to say your name. Flips. All right, so let me know, Elijah. Oh, free will? Okay. Yeah. All right, so here in my room where I like to share some things that I read. I read from the, I've been telling you, brethren, about you can have a ball if you get AI. Get yourself AI. I bought the Adobe Acrobat. Make files. Get yourself the Adobe Acrobat and then make files of the OAHSPE. Make files of it. And then just feed it into the AI. Make a file of the OAHSPE. I'm in the process of doing one book at a time. And then feed it into the AI. And then it'll jumble it all up and then spit out an answer. You remember Batman and Robin? Remember how they used to go to the cave And actually, there was some wisdom in the way they in that show, in the way that they would like ask it, when they were trying to put the pieces together to who did this crime or what. And then, remember the butler, Alfred? He used to sometimes chip in with put the pieces together. You know, remember them stupid questions he used to, Now, what type of thief would steal, you know what I mean? You make up a story. And it would be the craziest type of deductions they would make. You know what I mean? AI the same way, but it's not crazy. You throw it all in that machine there and it'll jumble out an answer. And you just see if you can receive it. See? And here goes some examples right here. I just ask any old thing that comes, anything the spirit give me, man. I just go crazy. You know, I just go flat crazy with this thing. Now here, I have to force myself not to post. I already post too much in the other rooms and in my room. You brethren need to digest that stuff. But I you read one thing and you want to share that. You read another thing, you want to share that. It's like an addiction. See, here's an example. It says, now here's something I don't know what the question was that I asked it, but I have here, what happens, and a lot of stuff you brethren already know. Sometimes I think I like to test the AI. I like to test it, because it'll probably get to a point that man will figure a way, he'll figure out a way to manipulate that and give you answers that perpetuate his kingdom. You got to look out for that, the deception. Now here I put, what happens? Oh, got to close the blinds. Hold on one second. Yeah, you see, Jamia, she went to Chuck E. Cheese's, didn't offer anybody, any one of us a slice. See how she is. I want y'all to make a note of that, sister, man. You know. So it says here, what happens at the death of man? It says, at death, the corporal man transitions into the spirit world, especially the first resurrection, which is the birth of unclean man into the spirit world. And then it said another, and this was from the book of Jehovah. I was studying the book of Jehovah, and this is all information from the book of Jehovah. I downloaded the book of knowledge, the book of Leica, the book of about 3 other books. So, and this is the answers that it gave me for each particular, at least for the book of Jehovah. It says the corporal man, the physical man, is separated from the spiritual man by the severing knife of death. It says the corporal part of the man's returns to the earth, while the spiritual part survives and eventually ascends upward. It says the spirit of man, which is a spark of Jehovah, continues to grow and magnify itself forever. See, that's why I like to say you're gonna come to the Creator, man. You're gonna come to His program whether you like it or not. I mean, it's only a matter of time, whether it's now or whether it's in the hereafter. You're gonna come to the Creator, man. You're gonna ascend. It says the trials of the flesh are likened to a nutrient for the growth of the spirit. The trials we go through, they feed our spirit. It says the spirit of man is destined for resurrection and eventual ascension to ethereal worlds for, look at, eternal happiness, man, and to glorify Jehovah. You see, Omi, he says JJ 7000 can understand OAHSPE with AI. Who is he? Well, what is that? JJ 7000. Who is this? I don't know what you mean by that post, Omi. Okay, so here's another thing. Another question that I asked AI: what kingdoms existed before Cosmos? Now, these, I mean, I'm sure you, brethren, already know the answer to these, but I want to show you an example of like when you do what. Oh, he's an OAHSPE hater. Oh, but he's coming into the he's changing his mind now, huh? Is he changing his mind, or is he still opposing or in opposition? It says the question was, what kingdoms existed before Cosmos? That's a good question. It says kingdoms of the false gods and false lords, lesser kingdom of various false gods. Hawk. See, this is where they get it wrong. See, this is what you got to watch out for. I'm just now. Now, wait a minute. Let's chew on this for a second. Let's chew on, let me see, not your BUTG, but you uploading to AI, he might come around. Not your, I can't understand that, brother. Not your BUTG. I can't understand that. Okay, now here, let's chew on this for a second. It says kingdoms of what kingdoms existed before Cosmos? It says, oh, okay, not yet. Not yet. With you uploading to AI, he might come around. Well, I don't know about me, but I think you meant if he uploads to AI, he might come around. So it says the kingdoms of false gods and false lords, lesser kingdoms of various false gods. Hak, Cephas, Suth, Is, Apollo, Osiris, Abraham, Brahma, Moses, Capelia, and Cosmon were the kingdoms that existed. Oh, okay, I see. It's not saying that that Hak was a false god or Cephas. It's just saying that these were the kingdoms that existed before Cosmon era. Okay. I get it. It says these kingdoms were characterized by the influence of evil spirits, false teachings, and the enslavement of worshipers to the deceptive entities they receive. Okay, I think I get it. You know, it's saying Hak, which is darkness, and Cephas, which is foundation. See, those are the 9 entities. You know what I'm saying? They're like the 9 children of Jehovah, he calls them. You know, you got Cosmin, you got, Dave, brother, good to see you, bro. You say no. Oh, JJ is a person, and he hates OAHSPE. Oh, okay, I get it. He even got Woodson Payne to attempt to discredit OAHSPE. He was a liar also. Oh, okay, I see. I got it. He hates the OAHSPE with a passion. That's too bad. All right, so yeah, this is mentioning the different kingdoms, and they were before Cosmon. Apollo, Osiris, and now I would look at this and wonder, because I would look at arc cycles as kingdoms. I could be wrong, you know what I mean? Arc cycles as kingdoms before Cosmon as well. So again, that's the problem. You know, you can only do one file at a time with AI. If it was able to do the whole book at one time, then I think it would be more exact. So that's one example of what I'm talking about when you're dealing with AI. It needs all the information you can give it in order for it to give you a good, solid answer. It says what kingdoms existed before Cosmon. The Cosmon is the time we're in right now. For those of you who don't know, it's a time of incredible transformation. It says these kingdoms were characterized by the influence of evil spirits, false teachings, and the enslavement of worshipers to deceptive entities they revered. Let's see. It says the heavens of the earth were organized under the four heads of the beast during the cycle of bond, and angels were classified into different categories based on their affiliation with organized heavens during different cycles. It says different resurrection practices were mentioned, including the first, second, and third resurrections applicable to angels, atmospherians, and organic communities on earth. Okay, that was all an answer to what kingdoms existed before Cosmos. And then we looked at Malchus, the metaphysical meaning of Malchus. And then here's something else that it says the speaker is questioning the creation of countless worlds. We might have went over this too. I don't know. It says the speaker is questioning the creation of countless worlds by Jehovah. The process of creation, the movement of spirits between different realms, the transition of individuals from the corporeal world to the spirit world after death, why angels of past ages did not reveal the truth about the creation of worlds to humanity, the existence of idols like Brahma, Buddha, Muhammad, or Christ in the creation of worlds and the purpose behind building and imagining idols in heaven. Now I should have put more context in this. I didn't give enough context to really get the full fruit out of this verse. Let me see how I did with this one. It says, hear me then, be wise in your corporal judgment, for I am corporal, not Jehovah's science. For am I corporal, not Jehovah's? Science is great. Great learning is great. Truth is great. But a greater than all is to know how to be happy. You shall not put me away, saying all the earth is a sin. I will not have it. For if you do not benefit in Jehovah's person, that which is seen, how can you attain the spirit for that which is unseen? That's a good point. That's a pretty good point, man. And that's what faithists are. They just simply have the ability. They got the ability, man, to believe in that which is not seen. Not seen. It's a miracle, man. And then here's something else. It says a true celibate in the document is defined as an individual who abstains from physical intimacy. He renounces worldly desires, focuses on spiritual growth, practices holiness through good works, engages in associative behavior, lives in peace and love with others, selflessly abnegates themselves in all things. They reject material possessions, fame, and leadership, choosing instead to give all they have in their time to whoever needs them, embodying a selfless and humble approach devoid of earthly desires and attachments. Oh, you know what I could do? I oh wow, man, I can show you guys what I'm talking about. I can show you what I'm talking about. I never thought about that. I never thought about it. Now see, how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? Oh, okay. I think I got it. Let's see if it works. Um, I want to show you guys actually what I'm talking about so that I hope that I may inspire more brethren to do this. I hope I can inspire more brethren to do this. Now, let me see. Let's see. How do I do this? How do I do this? Trying to do it on the fly. Now, how in the world? Let's see. Let's think about this for a second. I really want to show y'all this. Okay, let's see. Trying to figure it out. on the fly here. Now I got a screen and I want to show it. But how do I add it? How do I add it? Let's see. How do you add this to the screen? Okay, I have to figure it out after the video. When I get it figured out, then I'll come back on and show you. I want to show you, brethren, live how it works. You know, I just really think that it's an incredible blessing if you are able to do this. I mean, really incredible blessing. Sit back there and, it's like reading the libraries of heaven, man, right there, wherever you are. Okay, so get back to my, it says here something else I posted. It says, how does one develop in ETH? ETEH. Now, I don't have a good definition for ETH. I know what it is, but it's hard to describe. It says developing in Etheria, which is heavenly realm, involves serving Jehovah selflessly with wisdom and strength, abnegating self, and committing to unity with others. It says it includes rising through resurrections, aligning with the third resurrection, and proving genuine inspiration through works aligned with Jehovah's kingdom. It says development in Etheria requires rising above earthly desires, embracing selflessness, wisdom and spiritual growth, and transcending corporeal limitations. It also involves understanding the hierarchy of spirits, perceiving the presence of the Creator, and aligning with Jehovah's will for spiritual advancement. It says steps in development include becoming brides and bridegrooms of Jehovah, progressing through different levels of resurrection, and laboring at the third resurrection level. It says developing an ETH also entails pursuing spiritual practices, self-improvement, and alignment with divine principles to ascend to higher spiritual states. It says other aspects of development include engaging in suis, unraveling past events, experiencing the glories of heaven, and conversing directly with Jehovah. I need to download a song clip every time Prince Judah come in. Purple Rain. Every time he come in, I'm gonna play Purple Rain if I can figure out how to do it. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining us, man. Okay, so the question was, how does one develop in Etheria? It says it involves practicing holiness through good works, understanding the influence of unseen worlds on nations, and using light and darkness to predict future conditions. Okay, and then here's something else. It says, what question does Cosman in the Book of Jehovah pose to man? All right, it says Cosman poses thought-provoking questions to man in the document, encouraging introspection, self-awareness, spiritual growth. These questions cover a wide range of topics such as discerning between wise and foolish prayers and works, understanding the foundation of prophecy, developing righteousness through talents, combining earth knowledge with spiritual knowledge, avoiding evil influences, seeking enlightenment directly from Jehovah. The questions also challenge individuals to reflect on their actions, intentions, spiritual rank, and alignment with higher spiritual principles. Okay, and that was an answer to what question this cosmos in the book of Jehovah posed to man. Okay, here's something else. It says wisdom is perceived in the document as a multifaceted concept that involves serving Jehovah selflessly and doing good. So it's going to pretty much say what we've always been reading. It's going to say pretty much the same characteristics of other questions that I've already asked. I'll read it anyway, but I'm just trying to let you see how when you if you do like I am doing, where I'm using AI to help me learn. I was recounting the story of how I basically was. I was pretty fed up with myself because I felt like the speed of my learning is not what it should be, and I took it to Creator, and I did it, and I did it in such a way that I ended up getting rebuked for it from the Creator in the sense that I was sharing with you, brethren, and I was demanding spiritual growth. I was like demanding it, and then it got answered. And then wouldn't you know it, like the next day, man, I came across something in the OAHSPE where it says it talks about a prohibition against demanding light. Demand is against that. Like you're gonna just, bust into the throne room of the Creator and say, look, I'm I, you know, I want, give me this or give me that, and the very, or not a couple of days after, I actually read something where I got answered with what I'm telling you now. And then I actually read something that said that we are not to be trying to demand anything, really, you could say, of the Creator. So for me, it's part of the growing process. As I go along, I know I'm going to make less and less mistakes, just like anybody would. And so all these characteristics, you brother, you pretty much know them, but I just want to give you an idea of the information. You only limit yourself. You only, hey Prince, with you being a Gemini and you doing this, what I'm doing with AI, you could go crazy with this doing what I'm doing. You with your mind, I mean, you could just go out of the stratosphere with your vibration. You know, a Gemini, his mind has got wings. You know, that's their gift. Their mind has got wings. So if you get a hold of this process, brother, and you start, you'll just I mean, not to say that you're not enlightened enough already, but you will blast off, you know, because you're only limited by what you can think to ask. That's your only limit, man. You're only limited by what you can think to ask based on the information you put in. Now, here's the last thing, and it's going to be time for the reading of the word. It says, I asked something like, something that prompted this question. It phrased my question this way. It said, teaching man to think for, I think I covered this the last video, but that's all right. Do it again. It says, teaching man to think for himself is important for various reasons as outlined in the document. And then it says, it encourages independence, personal growth, and intellectual development. It empowers decision making and enhancing problem solving skills. It says encouraging critical thinking and resisting conformity. See, that's a big thing right there, man. Resisting conformity, because the beast kingdom, they pretty much pressure you to get in line, This church, this doctrine, that doctrine. See, it's like Western Hemisphere. We treat everything like a sports event where you're on this team, they're on that team. Well, that would kind of apply to faithists, but we don't refuse anybody. I mean, we don't make people subscribe to a certain doctrine. See, I found out, I got back what I was going to say earlier. The one thing that I really give thanks, Creator for is that He let each of us just operate in your highest light. That's all you got to do, man. Just operate in your highest light. That's what I was trying to remember earlier. That brother, he said he became an ordained faithist, and then he learned a lesson that if it ain't in you, he can't really teach you. He said if it ain't, he learned, Creator taught him, if it ain't in you, man, he cannot teach you. He can't teach you. I thought that was super profound, man. You got to have it in you, man. It just sound like the Creator to me. We got to have it in us. Another thing the Creator is really showing me, you can't control other people. You can't control them, man. All you can do is look for an area where you can help out. And that gets their agreement quicker than anything from what I can see. Even with the Creator, with the, he describes his afterlife. And it seemed like he wins. You know the old saying that you can draw bees easier with honey than you can with, you name it. There's an old saying, you can draw bees. It's better. You're better at drawing bees with honey than with, you put the word in something that you wouldn't draw them with. And it seemed like the Creator, from what I read, he reforms people in the afterlife. He reforms them that way. He don't beat the hell out of them like Christianity teach you. Can't wait to get a hold of you, man. I'm gonna give it, boy. Man, you wait till I get a hold of you. That's what you read the Bible. Verse 9, boy, you're gonna get it. Verse 10, I'm gonna kill you. Verse 11, you just wait, you little. Verse 12, why you little. Verse 13, I saw that. Verse 14, you little punk. Verse 15, that's what we've been. And so people get all kind of anxiety, come to the scripture. Some people, they just, the Creator, he ain't like that. He just ain't like that, man. It seemed like he reformed people with good. That will turn somebody around, man. You can't fight against love. If somebody can keep it up, at some point, man, you got to break. You must break, man, before that vibration. It might take a while, but you got to break, man. So I have to think that that's how he reforms people. We don't, we don't know, that's strange, that's strange smoke to us, how the Creator do things. All right, it's time for the reading of the Word. I'm going to read from the book of OAHSPE. Been reading from it or read from it last time. I think was OAHSPE or Judgment. I think it was OAHSPE. So I'm going to read, pick up in chapter 4. Pick up in chapter 4. So may the Creator bless the reading of his word, chapter 4, book of ouranothen. It says the word, let me make your screen bigger so you can see it. Make the screen bigger. All right. I think that's good enough. All right. All right. May the Creator bless the reading of his word. It says chapter 4, ouranothen. It says the words of ouranothen. By the grace and power of the Creator, God of all peoples, faith be yours and within you for your own redemption. It says, first come signs and presentiments. Let's see what presentiments mean. I mean, I know that you probably got an idea of what it means, but let's clarify what that word means. Presentiments. It means an intuitive feeling about the future, especially one of foreboding, a preeminent of disaster. So it's like when they use the phrase, something is in the air. Something is in the air. Yeah, right on, Prince. You say yes. As soon as I get this laptop, we gonna have fun. Yeah, hey brother, contact me. I want you after the uh, send me on Facebook or something. Send me um, some information. Send me your phone number. Don't do it here. Send me your phone number, okay, so I can talk to you about that. All right. Send me. Give me your contact information. Or you know what? My email, my email is Israelite94@yahoo.com. Let me see if I can put it in here. Hold on a second. Israelite94@yahoo.com. Okay, there we go. And Prince, I want you to send me your contact information. Okay, I want you to send me your contact information concerning the laptop. All right. Okay, let's get back. Oh, I didn't even share the screen, man. Presentiment. Presentiment. It means an intuitive feeling about the future, especially one of foreboding, a presentiment of disaster. And the OAHSPE says something like, they call it like something in the air, vibration. It says, first come signs and presentiments, then belief, and after that, faith, which is followed by works. You got to share the tab. It won't let me. Let's see. Okay, there we go. It says, first come signs and presentiments, then belief, and after that, faith. So there's an order there. Signs, and then presentiments, which is like a vibration comes on you. And then you believe. And after that, faith. You start walking in it, which is followed by works. It says in this law, 1248 is the footnote. So let's read that real quick. It says in this law, it says here, law here refers to the unfailing nature of the construction and consequences of Jehovah's system and order. Again, held as such, not intrinsically, because of itself, but because of Jehovah's actual presence. Wisdom and power in sustaining the system and order and operable because of his presence. That's the elements within one's milieu. Now, milieu, let's see what that means. Milieu. What does milieu mean? It means a person's social environment. I'm not sharing the screen. I don't need to, well, I'll do it. Milieu. It means a person's social environment. Okay, so thus the elements of within one's social environment act according to the system and order that is set up and sustained for them. It says, so when used in that sense, the word law and sometimes the word rule are terms of convenience. Also, since the laws and regulations and rules made by man's social order to govern his behavior are lower order imitations of Jehovah's system and order, they are accordingly also sustained by a person, whether that person is a king, a republic, or a fraternity, or some consensus cluster within them. It says, verse 3, and this law is for all the living, whether man, bird, beast, or creeping thing, there being signs and presentiments to all the living according to what concerns them. I can't summarize that. I really want to. I get it, but I can't summarize it. Share the screen. Why won't it let me share the screen? Share the screen. Wow. No, I beat you to it, brother. You're losing a step, Dave. I just got finished saying why won't it let me share. Losing a step there, brother. Thank you. So it says, and this law, okay, is for all the living, whether man, bird, or beast, or creeping thing, there being signs and presentiments to all the living, according to what concerns them. It says, behold, the times of heaven and earth are made of summers and winters, meaning cycles and seasons, for all things. The time when the harvest of one revelation or one doctrine comes to its ripening, and the time after when it is gathered in by the Father and is known no more, except perhaps as a myth. Ain't that beautiful? It's like that's what's happening to us. Through OAHSPE, it says that the old tradition of things at some point was going to be put away to make way for cosmic. That's what we got going on right now. That's why he's tearing down the beast kingdom, because they can't no longer serve our interests. The beast kingdom can't no longer serve our interests. Our spirit wants to know we want meat, man. We don't want no more formula. And the creator, he's saying, I know. That's why I'm gonna give you the cosmic era, so that you can. Now I'm gonna let you read the libraries of heaven. That's what we're doing right now. We're getting greater understanding because he know we need it. He know we need it. Even when you read the Bible, it's very now when you read it, it's very disconnected. And it leads you a lot of times to nowhere. Ace, that video you sent me, that's what made me come to that conclusion. Just now. You know, it really, a lot of things, they don't lead you nowhere. When you get more light, it says, verse 5, to one age, God bestows revelation on man according to what is good for man. But when it is fulfilled this work, God gathers it in and bestows another revelation. So what do you think, man? After the harvest, he may bring another revelation on mankind. You know, it's like what we getting right now. That's good for us to prepare us for the harvest. And then after the harvest, he may come with another word, if I'm not mistaken. He says, such are the works of Jehovah. Neither can man nor angel stop his hand. To Greece, to Egypt, and to India, he gave many self-gods, according to the necessities of the times and light of man, so that man could be raised up through belief and faith. So did he give them self-gods and doctrines suited for them. You gotta love it, man. He knew that man was going to get to a point he's going to need something to believe in. He was going to, when we were born, you start elevating. You start wondering about things. The creator, he know that. He give you a little information necessary, sufficient for your time of the stage of time that you're in. Then as you grow and your questions change, he give you a little more light. And then you get older, and then he give you even more light, so that he kind of walk you through your life. He keep that wonderment coming, where you always going to be wondering about this, about that. You know, he's going to give you a word. You're going to keep going, and it's like breadcrumbs to him, you know. And then verse 8, it says, a man became tenacious of his self-God. See, he held on to him, wouldn't let him go. He would not let them go. It said, truly making idols of them, depending on the self-gods and angels, to accomplish by intercession and otherwise man's ultimate exaltation in heaven. So let me read that again. Let me see if I can make a summary out of it. It says, a man became tenacious of his self-gods, truly making idols of them, depending on the self-gods and angels, to accomplish by intercession and otherwise man's ultimate exaltation in heaven. So it says in the OAHSPE, another place too, where Creator, he allowed familiars at one point until they started going off. He allowed them, he said. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, man, you know, familiars, and they were supposed to testify of the truth of the afterlife. They were supposed to come, but I guess they got corrupted, you know, and started, you know, I don't know. bearing witness to, whatever. I guess I don't know if they started to, I forget why they were put down. At some point they were put down. And then the Creator, he sent the LOOIS, spirit beings to raise us up, masters of generation. Took away the familiars. Said, okay, that's enough of y'all. Give them to Lewis. Lewis, they put our parents together for the purpose of raising you brethren up. They were perfect for our raising up of us, our spirit. And he said that's what the Lewis do, the LOOIS. It says, so man ceased to work out his own salvation, depending on himself, God's to save him, even in his crimes and blasphemy. That's the way people get. If you work for them, you think that they're going to have motivation? I mean, that's America. A lot of people take advantage of the system because they don't want to work. If you're going to give it to me, why should I? If I can scam the system, I'm going to do it. See, that's where we live. There's all kinds of people out there. They're experts, man, at scamming the system. I mean, I don't even have to tell you. You already know. If you make it so that a brother that he can just sit back and take advantage of you, he will do it. It's a terrible shame. Verse 10, Jehovah, he caused disbelievers and signs and miracles to overrun these people. And he raised new prophets to them, rebuking them for their unrighteous behavior. The adherents of the past revelations rose up in might and slew the prophets of God, declaring them breakers of the laws of man. Nevertheless, it came to pass with all these peoples, their many self-gods went away from them, and the new revelations took root in the persecution and death of God's prophets. Such are the cycles upon the earth. They are as the harvest of the Almighty, which gives to the different periods of his creations. Here is wisdom, O man, to heed the signs of Jehovah's seasons and the march of his dominion on the earth. Look at that, the march of his dominion. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Like a slow train coming. Ain't nothing you can do about it, man. Verse 15, not allowing yourself to become bound by things of the past while the signs of the Almighty rise up before you. Neither judge the ways of God by little that is done in a corner. Meaning don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Says, neither judge the ways of God by the little that is done in a corner, nor by prejudices deep-rooted in your own understanding because of your birth and surroundings. But survey broadly all over all the earth, considering what is good for all people as to whether the doctrines and revelations are powerful enough to abolish poverty and war and all manner of crimes among men. There's your solution right there. There's your solution, man. The word of the Creator. That is enough to supplant poverty, war, and all manner of crimes among men. See, we can't learn that right now. We can't, brotherhood of man, we can't learn that. As long as there's what they call limited resources, and money, gold, silver, and only a certain supply, that vacuum is always going to be filled by those who are more gifted and maybe, I don't want to be. I mean, let's just tell the truth, man. Scheming, plotting, planning how to scam other people. And they're good at it. It's always, whenever there's a limited supply of anything, it's like corruption is always going to be there. It's always cheating, Verse 18, this is the guide your Creator gave to you, so that you could learn to prophesy concerning the administration of your God, remembering that Jehovah is the only master of life and death, because whomever he is quickened into life is his, and death is his decree in his own time and way. And whoever comes between man and his creator, visiting death upon his brother, wages war against his creator. It says, life and death are mine, says Jehovah. Whoever then presumes to engage in death no longer fulfills the righteousness of God. And that's one thing I always, when I look at like YouTube, we are a country that love war. I'm sorry, man, we love death. Get people, talk about the weapons, the newest weapons, and we have respect unto the newest weapons that can do the most damage. You got Christianity, you got pastors talking about pray for our troops, our military. We're a militaristic type of country. We praise the power of the gun. You know what I'm saying? It's totally opposite the creator, man. It's totally, verse 22, by which sign ye shall judge all people who engage in war, and know in truth whether their doctrines, their so gods, are appropriate to establishing the Father's kingdom on earth, meaning that they're not. Anybody can conclude that if you kill everybody, there won't be no kingdom to establish. It says, verse 23, not allowing yourselves to be blinded by their pretensions and professions of peace, but by their practice, observing if they have more faith in weapons of war and standing armies, there it is, than in Jehovah. See, we got problems, man. Oh, man, we got problems. The nations of the world ain't even they ain't even about to put down their weapons, man. And talk about, hey, look, we just going to fall into the will of the creator. Whatever he decide, man, we're going to just lay our weapons down, and we're going to fall into Jehovah's hands. Whatever he seemeth good to him to do to us, then let it be. It says, this is one of the signs also, in addition to the infidelity and necromancy. So let's look at the footnote on necromancy. Necromancy is communication with the dead, right? Is that what necromancy is? It says necromancy, which aside from evil spirit manifestations, includes fawning over spirits of the dead. Does that really mean what I think it means? People who grieve for the departed? Somebody help me, man. Is that talking about people who grieve for the departed? They fawn over spirits of the dead. They keep remembrance. They pay a form of worship. Is that what this is saying here, or do I have it wrong? Oh, okay. Thanks, Asenat. Witchcraft. Okay. Fawning over spirit. Well, wait a minute. Let me chew on that for a second. Okay, which aside from evil spirit manifestations includes fawning over spirits of the dead. I can see what you're saying, Ace now. Fawning over spirits of the dead. Let's look at what that word means. Fawning. Let's see what it means. Fawning. I'm not going to switch tabs. Let me just tell you what it is. All right. It says displaying exaggerated flattery or affections, obsequious, fawning, adoration. What is the definition? I better share the tab. You brother are probably going to want to see this too. Let me go ahead and share it. It says, see, what does it mean if someone is fawning? It's a trauma response. where a person behaves in a people-pleasing way to avoid conflict and establish a sense of safety. It's when you're being disingenuous. When faced with trauma, fawning serves as a coping mechanism by developing a fawn trauma response. Trauma survivors attempt to avoid conflict by pleasing their abuser. Sounds kind of like Stockholm Syndrome, you know, where the captor, he tends to, what is that? Stockholm Syndrome? Where the captor, somebody in the chat tell me what Stockholm Syndrome is. I know what it is, but I would like to hear it. Let me see. ASNET says necromancy is more generally used as a term to describe manipulation of death and the dead, or the pretense thereof, often facilitated through the use of ritual magic or some other kind of occult. Oh, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Appeasing the dead with some type of ritual in order to deceive yourself into thinking that it'll provide some type of comfort. Or I don't know, I could be wrong. That's a good definition, I think, though. I can't, can't come against it. It says, from which you shall surely prophesy that the old doctrines and revelations have fulfilled their time with mortals. It says, chapter 5, ouranothen. It says, the words of ouranothen. And the love of God, peace, and goodwill be yours. Amen. In times past, the Almighty has bestowed his signs, monuments, and histories by which you shall understand the dominion of his word, because the ancients were bound down by the doctrines and revelations of their predecessors. Jehovah, he allowed evil disposed men to fall upon libraries and destroy them. And actually, that video I was looking at that you sent me, ASNAP, that was the mode of operation of the Romans in subduing the Jews, the Torah Jews. And there was a great war. I forget, who was it? Vespasian, I think it was. He instigated a war against the Torah Jews, and one of the agendas was to wipe out their sources of learning, their manuscripts, so that they could exercise control over them. So, creators, he says, because the ancients were bound down by the doctrines and revelations of their predecessors, Jehovah, he allowed evil disposed men to fall upon their libraries and destroy them. And man mourned on the earth, saying the light of heaven was consumed. And actually, I think Luamon, I think it says that he came after the Alexandrian library through the church priests. Isn't that what the OAHSPE says, ASNF? Isn't that what it says? It says that that Luamon, he inspired church priests to burn down the Alexandrian library, which was the source of many works of spirituality and antiquity. That's what the OAHSPE says, right? It says, verse 5, but Jehovah comprehended what was good for man, desiring him not to be bound down to the ancients, but rather that man should be quickened to the ever-present light of God. To be quickened to the ever-present light of God. So it's almost like it's saying that the burning down of the Alexandrian library, it sounds like that was working in favor of Jehovah too, because men, even now, men stagnate. They get stagnant to the old way, to traditions. They don't move. I've witnessed that personally. Christianity, I'm telling you, man, they're not going to get up. They're not going to let that go. They're not going to let it go, man. The Bible has been here. Forget the history behind it. That's how much of a hold normalcy bias has on the human soul. We've always believed in it. It goes back way further than any of us. Everybody else says that it's God's word. So I don't want to hear anything else than the fact that it's the only word of God. I'm telling you, man, it should make you appreciate when the creator, when he can break you out of that mind. Creator could break. Thanks for that link, Case. Now, yeah, thank you. It says, "For man had become like a drowning man, clinging to what? Clinging to that which was taking him down under the water. So only by the destruction of the ancient records could man be persuaded to turn to that which is ever present, even Jehovah." See there? So it's kind of like the destruction of the library and the destruction, what the Romans did and going against the Torah Jews and their sources was a good thing. Because it was to get them to get up, to get out of that single-mindedness, to get them to be more flexible in their understanding. Because people, we get rigid. We become unyielding. We become unbending. Now, sometimes that's good, but sometimes it'll be your worst enemy. If you don't have that flexibility. And it says, in the same condition, and I feel that way about the OAHSPE too. If something else comes along and I can hear it, I'm going to subscribe to that. If I can hear it, if my soul and my spirit can hear it, then I'll subscribe to that. Whatever way the Creator lead me, if I can receive it, I'm going in that I'll go in that direction. I know that we ain't supposed to make an idol out of the OAHSPE. I remember reading that. And then verse 7, it says, "In the same condition has always come to all the ancient self-gods and men, for men fear to let go." There it is right there, from that which is carrying them further and further away from their Creator. How do you like that? How do you like the word of the Creator, man? You know what I'm saying? He just nails it. Every day, man, he just nails it. Clinging to that which is carrying you further and further away, man. Carrying you further away. You know what I'm saying? How do you like the word of the Creator, man? He just nails it. He says, "This I also declare to you, the sum of revelation in each and every cycle has been to bring man nearer and nearer to the comprehension of the ever-present, to make man know that Jehovah now is even as he was with the ancients." He says, so that man might ultimately have his understanding open, so as to receive his own revelation from his Creator and from the angels of God. Got to crack that hard head, man, so that the light can come in. There's something in the Bible. You brethren, do you remember that verse where, here, let's look at it together. I think it's really interesting, man. Let me see if I can get to it. It's super interesting, man. Let's see if it'll let me. Okay. What we just read reminds me of this verse in the Bible. Do men sew new wineskins to old? King James Version. Okay, no one pours new wine into old wineskins. That's what we read right now. If I can find a good link, I'll click on it. Do you know what that means? We can now. I guess I'm going to have to go to any old link then. All right, let me just do it like this. Matthew 9:17. You know what that means? It's talking about what the Creator is doing in our day. The old, that's got to be, you know, that's got to be done away with, man. It's got to be done away with. You cannot pour, neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out and will perish. But they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved. So that's talking about us. That's applicable to us in our day. You, brethren, are new bottles. You see how the Creator, He can even use the Bible to talk to you. You see, you, brethren, are new bottles. He can only put new wine into new bottles. I mean, even scientifically, isn't that true? Won't the bottles break? The fermentation, won't it cause the bottles to break open? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? You, brethren, are new bottles. And he puts new wine into new bottles. I mean, it's just crazy the way it makes sense, man. You know? He just make too much sense. See, now this overstating is coming out now. It's like the Creator, He allowed it to come out. And it blessed your soul even more. So that man might ultimately have his understanding open so as to receive his own revelations from his Creator and from the angels of God. Let me see. Aceland says, I wonder if Wumong is Azazel. I don't know. Maybe Dave knows. I certainly don't know. I don't know. Didn't Luamong, I mean, didn't he get cast into hell? Or I don't know if he's still running things. Oh, I forgot to share the tab. I don't think he's still running things, is he? He's somebody else now, isn't he? Or is his run over with? And he get cast into hell? Don't want to let me share the screen. Hold on a second. All right, there we go. Yes, good question. Is he Azazel? Anybody know if Luamong is Azazel? It says, verse 10, such a being, in fact, the founding of his kingdom on earth as it is heaven. Such being, let me read it again, it says, so that man might ultimately have his understanding open so as to receive his own revelation from his Creator and from the angels of God. Such being, in fact, the founding of his kingdom, such being, in fact, the founding of his kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. It says, since then, direct inspiration shall come from the Father to all men. Direct inspiration, direct inspiration. The footnote 1250, it says, male and female via the soul. All men, all men. It says, how do you hope to not be bound by the revelations of the prophets of old? He's saying it's going to happen. Unless he steps in. How are you going to avoid that? You'll get bound up, man. If I'm not mistaken, he says, since then direct inspiration shall come from the Father of all men. How do you hope to not be bound by the revelations of the prophets of old? He says, the same Creator now is, always was, and ever shall be. To be as near him and as much in him and as much one with him as were the ancient prophets, shall you then not also be one with the Father? With the Father? To prophesy and accomplish good works. The same Creator. He says to be near him, to be as near him and as much in him and as much one with him as were the ancient prophets. Shall you then not also be one with the Father? To prophesy and to accomplish good works? Hey, Jamia's got a good question. Is Azazel the scapegoat? Is Luamong a scapegoat? Hey, Dave, what do you think? It says, verse 14, for God the Father is ever the same, and you fulfill his requirements as the ancient prophets did, the same result shall happen to you as them. It says, to quicken man, therefore, to enter into the living present, instead of leaving him as a follower of the ancient light, old revelations, is the work of your God. Toward that end, you shall join in wisdom and earnestness, regardless of self-sacrifice. He says, now therefore, that when the signs of let me chew on that for a second. It says, toward the end that you shall join in wisdom and earnestness, regardless of self-sacrifice. I don't know what it means by self-sacrifice. It says, same fate comes to a son or daughter, regardless of if your works are less or greater than the prophets and the spiritual men of old, is what I think he's saying. I could be wrong. He says, now therefore, when the signs of decadence in the old systems manifest themselves, for example, when those who are of good mind and sound judgment, having been believers in the ancient doctrines and revelations, but afterward turn away from them because the doctrines are impotent, you shall know in truth a new cycle is underway. And that's what that video that Ace and S sent me. That's a perfect example in all videos and faithist videos and people coming, they're punching holes in Christianity. They punching holes in it now. Because like the creator is saying here, the doctrine is impotent. It's had its run. It's coming to its conclusion at the same time as the downfall of the Western Empire. It's happening at the same time, man. See? The creator is saying that men were going to come out. They were going to find the truth. They were going to start coming out against it. Even men who don't even know the OAHSPE. If you look, you'll see it's people who are coming again. They punching all kinds of holes in the Bible. All right, Dave, he gave us an answer. He said, no, Lumong was not a scapegoat. His ego will not allow him to understand. Okay. Hey, Dave, is Lumong is he still running things over his kingdom, or has he been replaced? Is this run up, or is he still running things over his people? Has he been replaced? Was it Ashtaroth and Baal? Did they replace him? Creator, who he termed the Holy Ghost? Is it the Holy Ghost who is now replaced Luamon? That will conclude the reading of his word, brethren. Thank you, Creator. Thank you. Your word just gets more blessed and blessed. That will conclude the reading of this word. I'm opening it up. Open it up in case anybody, if somebody wants to come on and share or testify, or you want to give a word or anything. Okay, there you go. That was one hell of a read, man. You know, I love it. The creator, he said that. I just love it, man. He characterizes us as a process, a process and the whole, system that we've been on. Hey, brother, can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
Good to see you.
No, Lumon, Baal, Baal, and Astaroth, they're been moved off planet.
Okay.
Yeah. Those who took his place, right,
Uh-huh.
are the ones who kind of like jumped ship before he fell.
Oh, okay. Okay, wait a minute. Now let me think about that. Jamia says she thinks Lumong's cleaning up his kingdom. And that's the great falling. That's a pretty good point, ain't it? The falling away from Christianity, it may be the same for the beast kingdom as a whole.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Nazarene. Shalom, brother. That's a pretty good point. You think that's a pretty good point, Dave? What Jamia said, the great falling away,
Yeah.
the departure from established tradition, religion. That sounds right to me.
Oh yeah. She's definitely right on.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, Luamong, yeah, because some gods did escape, right? Though
Yeah.
was Thoth one? No,
You
he escaped.
remember when they went to see what was going on in paradise, and when Lika came,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of their ships went back to their respective kingdoms, but not to the throne of the false gods, Chitluamong, Cabalactes, Inochisa, and false god Gabriel. They went to their kingdom, but didn't report to them. So they went and kind of like hid out because they knew something was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So basically, they just bided their time and kept their old doctrines going with them in charge, using the names of the false gods. Brahma, Buddha, Christ, and the false god Gabriel or Allah.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention that there's some new ones that came along too, such as Piad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who started the one with this. What do they call that? Dianetics and what do they?
Lower on Hubbard.
Yeah. Dianetics and that the one that all the movie stars are in.
Kabbalah.
No, not Kabbalah.
Ed Kankar.
No. Actually, Kankar was is kind of like under the
Scientology.
yeah, Scientology. That's the one. I just couldn't,
Thanks, Jamia.
Yeah, the word wouldn't pop
Jason
in.
has got it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Tom Cruise, I think he's involved with that.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of them, and I guess their leader is a fellow named David Miscavige or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And he tries to get them to, confess to this, that, and the other, and kind of like through biofeedback or something. I don't really understand all of it. I read some of it. To me, it didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that doesn't make sense to me is senseless. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the way you described the rebellion of under Luamon. Yeah, that was a pretty good point. You know, even the Bible, it talks about the great falling away. That daggone Bible gets more and more interesting to me every day. You know, there's a lot of truth in it. It seems like the Creator. What is MK Ultra programming, Asana? Have you heard of that, Dave?
Oh yeah, that MK Ultra is something to do with they're attempting to work with the so-called aliens.
Really?
Yeah, such as the Greys and things, and they're uh, learning, about how their craft works. But I don't think that
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
aliens are going to give everything they have to us. They're going to have. They're going to be holding quite a few uh, implementations back, because I think they have their own agenda also.
Was that given to us and they stole it?
No. We're trying to uh, uh, attempt to recreate their technology.
Mm-hmm.
You know, places like Area 51,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the Skunk Works, uh, a lot of these aerial phenomena you see now. Uh, the government calls it what is it? UFP or something like that. Same thing as UFO, but then they got their own acronym for it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. That's it.
Uh-huh.
Same thing as a UFO.
You know, when I hear this type of thing is I think the powers that be, they know that time's up and they have to create a great deception. I think that they see that people are giving up, like Jamil was pointing out, they giving up on the beast kingdom. They're seeing it for what it is, and I seem to think that they are going to give a great deception as like the last attempt
Well,
to,
as well as myself, we all know that the government is all about control,
yeah,
right? And they have to be in control,
yeah, yeah.
right? They got to keep us working in their behalf,
Hmm.
and they're going to do anything that they can to include, lying, cheating, stealing, whatever, taking other people's resources, whether they want to give them or not. You know, this is what's causing a whole bunch of problems. You know,
Hmm.
but the
Look what ASNAP just posted there. Project Blue Book. You ever heard about that?
oh yeah, I've been talking about Blue Book for ages. They first tried to create Project Blue Book to discredit UFOs. You see, And there were a lot of them they could discredit, and a lot of them they couldn't discredit. And the ones they couldn't discredit, but I'm sure the government, such as MJ-12, they knew all about these aliens, right? And they just wouldn't share it with the public. Now it's coming out that they knew about it, right? So they've switched 180 degrees. So a lot of the conspiracy theorists were right in that regard.
So you think that Area 51 is really referring to Project Blue Book?
Oh yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of them are. Bob Lazar used to work there. He was on Art Bell I don't know how many times. And he's even got videos out.
Yeah, I remember Art Bell talking about the material that the aliens used, and it was stronger than ours by like a factor of I don't know how much. And it was bendable, real pliable is one of the things I remember.
A lot of those developments came from reverse engineering, such as Kevlar, fiber optics, for example. Kevlar.
Is that right? Is that right? Now, I didn't know that. How do you like that? Is that right? You mean fiber optics is only that old?
Yeah.
It's not very old at all.
No. No, they reverse engineered it.
How do you like that? I mean, the question in my mind is how their technology could fail in the sense that they would crash if they were enlightened beings.
If you
remember
right, one of the first crashes were in Roswell, and I think it was 48. Now Roswell and that New Mexico area had been used for atomic tests. Remember? To end World War II. So they may have run into some radiation, right? That screwed up their propulsion system. And before they could recover, they crashed.
Oh, that's very interesting. But do you suspect that I don't know how to describe explosion of information about alien will be the thing that will change the kingdom of man?
No, I don't think so. Those aliens, they want something or need something.
Yeah.
A lot of the books I've read, such as by Whitley Strieber.
Yeah.
Communion.
Yes, I heard of that.
Now, he wrote that, and there was a part in it that I read, whereas they can switch bodies, right? Because they got like extra bodies, and they
Uh-huh.
put on a body like we put on a suit of clothes. You see. Now the thing is, what happens to the spirit or their spirit?
Yes.
You understand? If they keep cloning bodies, right? It's going to be like you take a document, right? You
Uh,
photocopy that document, then you photocopy the photocopy of the document, and you keep going about
mm,
5, 6 itinerations of that. You're going to be losing material, right? It's going to start fading out.
mhm.
Spots going to appear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing with DNA, right? You keep cloning the same thing over and over and over again, right? Spots in that DNA are going to be missing,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
right?
That's a good. That's a good. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Now, uh,
I,
what they may trying to be doing, right? Because there's a lot of what they say, animal mutilations and things like that going on, right? And the blood has yeah, been exsanguinated. Certain parts of the animal are missing, right? Such as the genital area, uh, heart, lungs. You know, things that have tissue in them that could be used to recreate those DNA sequences that are missing.
mhm,
You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking
mhm,
that somehow or other, these beings have lost their connection, their soul connection to Creator, right? And are
mhm,
trying to preserve their race,
mhm,
right? And they're going to need us in a way uh, to help them regenerate a connection with Creator.
mhm, mhm.
Uh, a more normal means than what they're trying to use now.
They sound to me like Beatles.
Yeah. I don't think they would be fetals. I would think more or less they just lost their connection to Creator through genetics.
Hmm, I see.
You see.
Well, I tend to think that the thing that will explode the present kingdom is when we begin to testify of angel visitations and power from on high. I mean, I could be wrong, but I know that the OAHSPE it talks about visitation from on high, and that our tests that I mean, you put two and two together. I think he's saying that when brethren begin to testify of angel visitation and manifest power, like making inanimate objects move and dance, like the OAHSPE says, then I think that's just the thing that will blow open the whole world.
Well, you see, that's already been done.
In righteousness, or on the left hand or the right hand. I think that our manifestation is going to be different. I mean, because the OSP talks about it. I mean, I know there's like a thing called magic, but I seem to think that the Creator has something unique in store for us. You know what I mean? I mean, again, I could be wrong. I
No,
always thought that there are.
what I think we're going to do eventually is move out of us and form our own communities.
Yeah, that sounds good too. Why didn't
And
Shalem work though?
leave the Uzians to do as they will.
Yeah, now you what? That sounds right to me.
And the Uzians are, being destroyers. They're going to eventually destroy themselves.
Yeah, that sounds 100% to me. That sounds 100%. If you ask me, just what I got on the screen is from this movie called Project Blue Book. Now, that is very interesting. I know that the OAHSPE, the creator, he talks about depopulation, that he will decrease the numbers of the Uzians. And let me ask you this, Dave. Why didn't Shalem work? Or is it still trying to work somewhere?
The reason it didn't work is a lot of the people were still self-centered, still an ego.
Mm-hmm.
You see.
So Asenath, give us an example of how deep the rabbit hole goes. I mean, I know, nothing really surprises me anymore about efforts of the seen and unseen to gain control over kingdom of man. You can't really surprise me anymore. I think that even like with the food supply, I think that for some reason that veganism is going to become real popular, you know, and then there's going to be a way to find out how to manipulate that. Obadiah 121. Let's see. I just can't put anything past the mind of man and his efforts to stay in control. I think that there are people in the world, man, who know about the cycles of times of the creator. There's got to be, Dave, you know about the upcoming harvest, want to do everything they can to prevent it. Now, see, Asenath wants me to look at Obadiah 121. So let me get that real quick. So, Dave, you never answered my question. How is the technology of which you were speaking of, so far as making inanimate objects move, that sort of thing? How is that? I mean, how do you explain that?
Well,
Savior
actually,
shall come up.
it's spirits moving those objects.
Uh huh.
You see,
Yeah.
the unseen acting on the scene.
Uh huh. Is
A
it
lot of
deception
times when,
of some kind?
when say Zarathustra, right?
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I know what you're getting at. Okay. Yeah.
when he
He,
wanted to feed the people, right? He rained down fruits and vegetables on them. He
yeah.
didn't do that. The spirits did that.
Right. Right.
You see.
And
So what
also,
we're going to be doing is we're going to be calling on Creator and His gods, right? And
yeah.
gods and lords are going to have uh, troops, have make things move, uh, uh, bring semblance of the dead back to life again in
Yeah.
Sarges.
Yeah.
You see, we're not going to be doing it. they are going to be doing it, but we're working
Yeah.
in conjunction with them.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah. See, that makes 100% sense to me. That makes 100% sense to me because I seem to understand that we lost that power. Am I correct that faithists they exercised that power at one time?
oh, a lot of them still have that power. They just don't use it.
Mm.
The reason being, all of a sudden, people would accolade all these uh, phenomena to them, right?
Yes.
And they don't want that,
Right. Yeah, that
so
makes sense.
they don't act in that manner. Now they will give a word of help, right, to
Hmm.
those in need, right?
Right.
Maybe a spirit will come and console them, you see. But it's all done on the QT, on the quiet,
Hmm.
you see.
How do you think? Let me ask you this: how do you think communities will come together?
Well, right now, Brother Daryl Cobman, he's working with those Moors, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, they got their own thing, their own uh, community, you
Hmm.
see. I actually don't know how big it is, but uh, a lot of faithists might join them, right? Providing they got the right mindset.
Hmm. Hmm.
From what I see of from the two videos that Brother Daryl uh, did with them, they have a pretty high moral code,
Hmm.
you see, and it still bears a little watching, before you make any commitment to anything.
Yeah.
But they're
Mm.
a good source that might be able to uh, get us out of the us in control and to take back our personal powers. You see,
Right. Right.
and get away from the birth certificate, uh,
Yeah.
social
Identification.
errors, you know, uh, and if they have a place, a country, or something that they can form, shoot, we go there.
Who is their God?
Uh, I do believe they subscribe to Creator,
Uh huh.
but from what I understand, the parents of the children teach, whatever religion uh, they're into.
One thing that comes to my mind is, and ASNAP, that's a great verse, man, about what you were talking about, Dave, is Obadiah 121. It says, Savior shall come up on Mount Zion. So it's talking about a transformation of saviors that come on Mount Zion. But what I was going to say is that I've seen the Moors in action, and I've seen them absolutely destroy the legal system. I mean, it's an amazing thing to see. They have videos of Moors who go to court, and for different violations, and they just absolutely no one can deal with them, and they go to court on issues of sovereignty. Sovereignty issues, and how they are not under the jurisdiction of the American government, and they just simply destroy the American court system. The judges, the cases they have, nobody can touch them, man. But it's like none of that matters. The courts, they just do what they want. They just do what they. I mean, it's rigged. Even if you thoroughly,
Well, take a look at this, right? When you go into that courtroom, you'll notice the flag.
Right? Oh, I know it. Yep. I know what you mean.
And you'll notice that there's a fringe, gold fringe around that flag.
Maritime law.
Gold fringe means that when you're in their courtroom under that flag, you're under martial law.
Maritime law.
Right.
Yeah. I remember seeing
that's where they got you.
Yeah. I remember seeing a video. I loved it, man. This dude, he went to court, man. And the bailiff said, come into the courtroom or something like that. And the guy said, no, I'd rather stay. I'd rather stay on land. He knew what the deal was, man. He knew what the deal was, that if he went inside, because when you study Black's Law Dictionary, you're like, just like you were saying, Dave, when you go inside that gate that leads to the that little area where you open that gate, now you are proclaiming yourself to be a dead man.
Yeah.
Now a dead man, he has no rights, he has no identity, and then, just like you were saying, you come under their, see, they do it surreptitiously,
Oh, yeah.
Let me see. ASNAF wants me to check out Santos Bonacci. So the whole system, man, I mean, it's a dishonorable system. It's a shame, man, that we have to trip. I was looking at a video, brother, on British Empire, and the reverence that the world had for the Queen, and they basically have built up their kingdom. I mean, I'm not telling you anything new, You know the story behind the British Empire.
Yeah.
And they operate on deceit. And so when we talk about the Moors, and you see how they're treated in the courts, man, it just turns you, for me, it turns me off, man, to law and order in this country. Like, when we live in a situation where we don't deal with men of character in this reality. I mean, the corruption it's 100%, man, and when you, just like the other day, the International World Court, they came out with a decision against Israel. I know you heard about that. And it doesn't have any teeth, Israel is going to just do whatever the hell they want.
Oh, yeah.
And there ain't no rule of law, man. And it turns me off, I mean, I'm sad to say that it turns me off, man, to try to pursue my rights. And you know the you guys signed a treaty with us, and you know and it allowed us to keep our sovereignty, and when you see that type of stuff, man, for people like me, I just don't waste my time. You know, I think that the creator, he's got to step in. He got to step in, and I agree with what you said, and I like the way you explained it. I like the way you categorized the uh, the upcoming the communities and separation from the Uzians. I just think, I mean, you got people like me who are disabled. What are we going to do if a community is raised up here or there? And I mean, I just see that the creator, there's a lot of people like such as myself, and to be starting uprooting like that, it would have to be some type of divine intervention. Oh, that's how I look at our present reality. I have to think along the lines of the creator. That I mean, I also like what you said about the angels, that it'll be the angels doing it, not us. That makes sense to me. That makes a hell of a lot of sense to me. Through the inspiration of the Ethereans, maybe,
Yeah.
that we go about the creator. He works with us that way. And that will get the world's attention in 3 seconds flat. That'll get the world's attention in seconds. Soon as the word gets out, where faith is all over the world, we start manifesting. We start like a great exodus. We go here, or we just like the return of the salmon. you know. But let me see. Asenath got something here. She says the key to bending the spoon is to realize there is no spoon. I'm going to check this guy out, Santos. Well, let me do that right now. Dave, brother, give me the peace sign, brother.
You
know what?
There you go.
I want. All right, now
more
I'm
or
going to make
less a unity sign.
Unity sign. Now I'm going to do the sign of the creator. Let's see if I can do it. And I do that for the leaf. I'll make the sign of the creator. And let me see, is that the name? There's the leaf. And then there's the name of the creator. Then the sign of the leaf. Sign language. Well, brother, all right. Huh?
There you go.
We were talking about that in the Bible study. Some brethren, they do that. They go, this part of like a ritual for them. They do the sign in the name of the creator. And, I have to admit, man, I see some wisdom in that. But, all right, brother. Thank you for joining me. I think I'll go ahead and close it up. If you have a final word, the floor is yours.
You have yourself a good one, and peace to the chat. And thank everybody in Creator's name for them to be able to join us, and hopefully they have some knowledge of what's going on now.
Very well put. All right. Thank you, brother. Very well said. Very well said. All right. Brethren, thank you for joining me. I want to give thanks to the Creator for this opportunity. And tomorrow, Creator willing, I will see you again. And until then, I pray the Creator bless all of you, brethren. Peace, love, wisdom, light, and protection. And until I see you again, peace be unto you. Shalom.